Hello aspirants, welcome to Patriot Indian. Since EPFO notification is about to come, we will discuss PYQs of previous year questions, and today we are going to discuss Epfo paper of 2023. Let us go through them one by one. Okay. So uh, look at this very carefully and let's just read it out. In the following 5 items, each item consists of 6 sentences of a passage. The first and the 6 sentences are given at the beginning as S1 and S6. The 4 sentences in between S1 and S6 in each question have been jumbled up and labeled as P, Q, R, and S. You are required to find the proper sequence of the 4 sentences and mark your response accordingly on the answer sheet. So it's para jumbling and we'll have to solve this. Look at sentence 1. Geological mapping, when properly done, demands skill and judgment. Okay, we're talking about mapping. And let's read P. While the fieldwork progresses, he should conceive as many interpretations as are consistent. Now read S1 and P together. Does it make any sense? No, it does not. So now we'll go to the next sentence, Q. As the fieldwork progresses and the large geological picture begins to unfold, experience and judgment are essential if the geologist is to evaluate properly the vast number of facts gathered from thousands of outcrops. Now read sentence 1 and sentence Q together. Read it out. So, do they make any sense? No, they're not making any sense. In the first sentence, we're talking about geological mapping, and in the P and Q, we're talking about fieldwork, so it's not. Now, read sentence R. Such mapping requires keen observation and a knowledge of what data are significant. So now read sentence 1 and sentence R. Geological mapping, when properly done, demands skill and judgment, and such mapping requires keen observation and knowledge of what data are significant. So sentence 1 and sentence R clearly make sense to us. So after sentence 1 we have R, and do we have any other option with R in it? No, we do not have. Anyways, we'll so after that, now such mapping requires keen observation, knowledge of what data are significant. Here we are talking about data. Okay. And now read, above all, the field geologist must use a method of working multiple hypotheses to deduce the geological structure. After R, read S. Does it make any sense? No, it's not. After R, read P. Such mapping requires keen observation, knowledge of what data are significant. And now read Q. Of what data are significant. As the fieldwork progresses and large geological picture begins to unfold, experience and judgment are essential if the geologist is to evaluate properly the vast number of facts gathered from thousands of outcrops. Now read P. While the fieldwork progresses, he should convince. Okay, here we are talking about the geologist, and in the next sentence, does it make any sense to us? While the fieldwork progresses, he should conceive as many interpretations as are consistent with the known facts. Now Q and P do not make any sense. After Q, read S. Above all, the field geologist must use the method of working multiple hypotheses to reduce the geological structure. So in Q, we have spoken about geologist, and in continuation, S is also talking about geologist, and both the sentences make sense to us. So here the sequence is R, Q, S, and P. That is how you tackle these kind of questions. Okay. Look at the next question. Under the colonial regime, okay, we are talking about the colonial regime, basic infrastructure such as railways, ports, water transport, posts and telegraphs did develop. Okay, we are talking about the infrastructure that has been developed. Now read the sentence P. There always remained an acute shortage of all weather roads to reach out to the rural areas during the rainy season. Okay, S and P, do they make any sense? Yes, do they? And now read Q. Roads constructed in India prior to advent of British rule were not fit for modern transport. Okay. Now read R. However, the real motive behind this development was not necessarily to provide basic amenities to the people but to subserve various colonial interests. In the first sentence, we spoke about colonial regime and infrastructure that they have built. And in sentence R, we are talking, however, the real motive behind this development, okay, was not necessarily to provide basic amenities to the people but to subserve various colonial interests. So after S1, R follows. And yes, so option D is correct. Anyways, we'll read other sentences also. And after this, we are talking about the roads that were built primarily serve the purpose of mobilizing the army within India and drawing out raw material from countryside to the nearest railway station. And after R, read Q. Roads constructed in India prior to advent of British rule were not fit for modern transport. Okay, after R, Q, and after that, now read S. The roads that were built primarily served the purpose of mobilizing the army within India and drawing out raw materials from the countryside to the nearest railway station. So, यहाँ पे we are discussing that first infrastructure was built by British, but that infrastructure, the motive behind the infrastructure was not to provide amenities to the people, but to serve colonial interest. Anyways, the roads constructed were not fit for modern transport as the main purpose was mobilizing the army within India and drawing out raw materials. And after that, there always remained an acute shortage of all-weather roads to reach out to rural areas during the rainy season. Naturally, therefore, these areas remain inaccessible to the people. Okay, I hope you got it clear. Please let me know. Now, question number 3. Contemporary history is necessary, but it is at best a tentative record. Okay, we are talking about contemporary history. Now, read sentence P. The relevance of the issue of proportion is significant. We are talking about history in the very first sentence, and in the sentence P, we are talking about a proportion. Are they in continuity? No. Do they make any sense? No. Now read Q. Contemporary history is necessary, but it is at best a tentative record. It possesses indeed a massive supply of public record, but it necessarily lacks the inner knowledge of politicians' minds, of planners, proposals of scientists' discoveries, of technicians' breakthroughs. Okay. So after sentence 1, if you read sentence Q together, they go well together. After Q, after Q, read R. It also lacks perspective since it is bereft of a sentence of proportion. It also lacks perspective. It also lacks. And in the sentence Q, it's only talking about the possibilities. But after that, we have to talk a negative, something negative of it, and a sentence R follows. So read sentence S after Q. It is impossible over just few years of observation to estimate accurately the significance of various events. So here we are talking something negatively about contemporary history. So after sentence Q, S follows, and after S, it is impossible over just a few years of observation to estimate accurately the significance of various events. It also lacks perspective since it is bereft of a sense of proportion. Okay, QSR, and the relevance of the issue of proportion is significant. So this is the sequence. Now, fourth question. Income inequality in less developed countries is worse than most estimates. We're talking about income inequalities. Read sentence P. There is a staggering level of difference between the income metrics and the actual income of the prosperous in such countries. Okay. Are they in continuity? No. The effective tax rates are not really progressive with regard to income. Okay, we're talking about income inequality, and then we are talking about effective tax rates are not really progressive with regard to income. Okay, this could be, and they need to be re-engineered to bring into the tax net the enormous sums of missing income. And after Q, read S now. They are even less so with regard to wealth. Okay. The effective tax rates are not really progressive with regard to income. They are even less so with regard to wealth. And after that, there is a staggering level of difference between the income metrics and the actual income of the prosperous in such countries. Staggering level of difference between income metrics. They need to be reengineered to bring into the tax net the enormous missing income. Okay. The tax regime in these countries needs to be progressive and futuristic. So here I think we have come to the conclusion that QSPR is the correct sequence. Now, question number 5. The history of English literature is usually divided into different periods. Okay, we are talking about history of English literature. However, there are important discontinuities to be kept in mind. Okay, each period has unique feature that produces certain family resemblance between the writers of a particular period. Okay, after sentence 1, Q should be making sense, and we'll read R also. Scholars often specialize in periods such as medieval, Renaissance, Romantic, Victorian, and modern literature. Okay, R also makes sense. And okay, scholars often specialize in periods such as medieval, Renaissance, Romantic, Victorian, and modern literature. Each period, okay, here there are different periods, and each period has unique features that produce certain family resemblances between the writers of a particular period. So in sentence R, we're talking about scholars and writers in different periods. And in Q, immediately we're talking about the resemblances that they produce. Okay. R, Q, and then, however, there are important discontinuities to be kept in mind, and failure to detect these discontinuities often produce a false sense of uniformity and consensus within a period. So, read with me. The history of English literature is usually divided into different periods. Scholars often specialize in periods such as medieval, Renaissance, Romantic, Victorian, and modern literature. Each period has unique features that produce certain family resemblances between the writers of a particular period. However, there are important discontinuities to be kept in mind. Failure to detect these discontinuities often produce a false sense of uniformity and consensus within a period. This is a real danger of periodization, which tends to give the impression of distinct categories where there are none. So the answer is RQPS. I hope it's clear to you all. I know it's very confusing, but with practice, you'll understand. Okay. Look at the question. We have to find the error. Ramesh liked his friend's music player to his own. No error. Here, it's not Ramesh liked, it's Ramesh linked his friend's music player to his own music player. So the error is A. Now, question number 7. Given the complex of the problem, the committee is not expected to arrive at a decision anytime soon. Look at A. Given the complex of the problem. No, it is not complex of the problem. It is given the complexity of the problem. So the error is clear here. Now, question number 8. The group of students on a visit to Srinagar circumnavigated around the Dal Lake. Uh, Look at A, the group of students. No, on a visit to Srinagar. यहाँ पे भी there is no error. Circumnavigated around the Dal Lake. Here there is an error. Circumnavigated around the Dal Lake. Here you do not have around. Circumnavigated in general means something or go around something. Circumnavigated the Dal Lake means the students went around the Dal Lake. So circumnavigated it in general means to go around something. So यहाँ पे there is no need of around and the error is clear. Now question number 9. Jitendra was the smartest of the two children in the room. We are talking about the two children. We are comparing two children. When you compare two people, it's smarter. Jitendra was the smarter of the two children in the room. It's not the smartest, it's smarter. So I hope you're getting it clear. He asked me if I would be interested in signing up as a member of the group. Well, let's break it down. He asked me if I would be. Do we find any error here? No. Interested in signing up? No. As a member of the group. Is there any error here? No. So the answer is no error. Error spotting could be very easy provided you pay little attention to it. Now, a question number 11 to 15. I dash walking past this particular shop for the past 3 years. I have been walking past this particular shop for the past 3 years. Okay. All effects can be connected with immediate cause, but it may be doubted. But it is doubted whether they provide the whole explanation. It is a doubt, no. It may be a doubt whether they provide the whole explanation. It may be doubted whether they provide the whole explanation. Okay, D. A bird in hand is better than two in the bush. A bird two hand is better than two in the bush. A bird handy is better than two in the bush. A bird in one's hands is better than two in the bush. So the right answer is a bird in hand. Human history is ample proof that human ambition knows no limits, or human ambition keeps no limits. Human ambition crosses no limits. Human ambition marks no limits. The answer is human ambition knows no limits. Good history presents several perspectives on a period, but these divergent views must be made into an integrated whole, must be fused into an integrated whole, must be fit into an integrated whole, must be balanced into an integrated whole. Anyways, I've provided you with a detailed explanation here. We'll just go through them. I dash was walking past this particular shop for the past 3 years. Sorry for the mistake. वहाँ पे was नहीं आना चाहिए था. There should not be any was over there. Okay. I dash was walking past this particular shop for the past 3 years. I have been, because I have been walking past this particular shop for the past 3 years. It indicates that the action had started in the past and has continued up to the present. Present perfect continuous. Whenever you talk about present perfect continuous, you have to use have or has and been plus be plus ing. So I have been walking. Okay. Now, all effects can be connected with immediate causes, but it is doubted, or it is a doubt, it may be a doubt, or it may be doubted. Here the answer, it may be doubted. All effects can be connected with immediate cause, but it may be doubted whether they provide the whole explanation. Here it may be doubted. It means it's a possibility. It is possible to question or doubt. The sentence is talking about a possibility and not a certainty. So we will use the term may be doubted. A bird in hand is better than two in the bush. A bird in hand is better than two in the bush. So I hope you got it clear. Human history is ample proof that human ambition knows no limits. Means human ambition knows no limits. There is no limit to human ambition. Good history presents several perspectives on a period, but these divergent views must be dashed into an integrated whole, must be fused into an integrated whole. मतलब we should combine all these divergent views into an integrated whole. So I hope you got it clear. Please let me know if there are any doubts in the comment section, and thank you for watching.